Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, we got another absolutely fantastic show coming your way. We got this extraordinary, wonderful, talented young lady that's going to be chatting with us and tell us about her story and how you overcome certain things, experiences, and just the mindset that we all must develop in order to tackle some challenges. And what we're going to talk about, if if you want to know something, just ask. A lot of times people expect a certain type of answer, but you always have to be unprepared for the unexpected as well. But that's how we deal with challenges in today's world. But this young lady is going to tell us about all of these great things. And I tell you, I think you might want to stick around and be part of the conversation. If you want to be part of the conversation, you can go to the comments on whichever mechanism you're watching, whether you're watching on E360 TV, whether you're watching on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whichever mechanism that you're watching the show on, become part of the conversation. You know, I got to always invite this great co-host of mine because she seems to make everything happen. She does all the heavy lifting, and I don't know what I would do without her. How you doing today, Michelle? How you doing?
I'm doing great, doing great. It's a busy day, but you know what? I am healthy and there's great things going on. There's great things to come. So I'm doing great, James.
Wow, you know, I'm excited about this young lady that we have on the show today, and I'm excited about just getting to know a lot of the things that she gonna tell our viewers about, and just some of the trials and tribulations that she have went through, and how she went about resolving these type of issues and concerns. And Michelle, just as you know, we all have challenges that we have to deal with. We just have to know how to deal with these challenges.
Exactly. We've all gone through some trying times, whether in our childhood, whether if it's a year ago, 5 years ago, or just last week. The thing is, you have to figure out how to deal with them and not let our past define who we are as well as what our future can be.
And you're absolutely right. It's almost an everyday thing. Things changes, and we just have to be able to deal with what's in our control, and also have the right mindset. So, with that being said, Michelle, I want to get directly into this because I want to bring this young lady on real soon. Why don't you tell our viewers and our listeners the title and the purpose of today's show?
Yes, the title of today's show is Just Ask, Expect the Unexpected. And the purpose of the show today is getting to know author and international speaker Chidell Watkins and discuss how do you handle positive, unexpected circumstances, and at what point do you decipher whether or not a question should be asked, and if you allow others to expect the unexpected from you, and how often should or do you ask questions?
Why don't you introduce this great doctor to our listening audience?
Yes, Shadell Watkins is an author and international speaker known as Shadell Speaks. She shares the power of resilience in overcoming a painful experience of rape at the age of 18. Shadell drew strength from the five generations of women in her family and the Me Too movement to tell an honest and inspirational story of her experience. She is the founder of Girlfriends Connected, a nationally recognized organization that connects and inspires women with a focus on the connection, development, transformation, and empowerment of women of all races and social and economic backgrounds. Shadell is a sought after speaker for empowerment, encouragement, and beating the odds. She hopes her life's impacting stories will inspire and encourage you. She aims to make a difference, and she wants you to know that you are not on this journey alone. Once Shadell was able to open up about her past, she realized the power of her voice and the importance of sharing her stories. Oprah has been quoted, "Turn your wounds into wisdom." And Shadell just does that. She refuses to let her past define her future. She is lively and engaging. And after numerous speaking engagements, people have approached her to share how her words have inspired them to overcome and start their healing journey. You're going to be okay. She's the mother of four, has been able to manifest just about everything in her life by just asking. She's been able to persevere despite any obstacles or distractions, as she knows the reward of fighting for her dreams and creating a legacy for her family. The James Cooley Show, It's Your Lab, proudly presents Chidell Watkins.
How are you doing,
Hi,
Dr. Chidell Watkins? How are you doing today?
I am so fantastic. How are you doing today?
I am absolutely wonderful. It's an absolute pleasure having you on the show. And I'm excited. Just doing our due diligence, doing our background, and some of the great things that you're doing, and just empowering others through your speeches, your talks, and just being the person that you are today. So Shadell, can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit more about you, where you grew up, and who were some of your role models that shaped you into being the person that you are today?
James, I will be happy to. But I'd like to start by saying thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm excited. I am happy that you chose me to be on your platform, and I'm ready to get the ball rolling. So, basically, a little bit about Shidell or Shadell Speaks. I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, right in near the city of Inglewood off of Florence and Crenshaw. And two of my main influences in my life were my grandparents, both my grandmothers and my grandfather. Then I also was influenced and even inspired by my mother because although she was a single mom raising two young little girls in South Central Los Angeles, I saw her go to work every single day. Then there were times that I questioned it because I was a child, but in my adult life, I appreciate the work ethic that she actually used as an example. Wasn't just telling us get up and go to work every day, be on time, and don't go to work or not have any excuses to not go to work. But she actually led by example, and that was something that really stuck to me and inspired me pretty much throughout my life.
So you mentioned your mother, your grandparents. What are some of the things they instill in you that is truly a trademark that you live by, and you instill in your children as well?
You know, my grandfather was an entrepreneur and he owned a barbershop in Los Angeles off of Normandy and 100 and something. So watching him build that business pretty much from the ground up, but then being able to visit him and just watching his behaviors were pretty much lessons for me. And then my grandmother, she was that neighborhood grandmother. So everybody went to her house. She fed everybody. She clothed them. She gave them baths or did whatever she needed to do and then sent them home, but then chastised them also. So some of the things that she did, just showing us how to embrace others, how to live life, although we had challenges, those challenges were just speed bumps in the road of our journeys, but it didn't stop us from moving forward to do the things that we needed to do. So there were also times where she would sit us down and have those conversations and gave us examples about what we could do, what we couldn't do, what we should do, and maybe sometimes things that we shouldn't do. But then if we made certain decisions, just be mindful that our lives are pretty much based on the decisions that we make.
Wow, that's deep. and so- we have to make sure that we soak that in,
Yeah.
because just like I mentioned, we want to pass that down for generations and generations to come, and hope that they understand and instill in our grandkids and our great grandkids the true value of understanding yourself, and having a solid work ethic.
Yes.
So I think all of those things are important. Before we get off into this great conversation I'm getting ready to have with you, I gotta ask you. I'm throwing a little wrench in there early.
Okay.
What is the best word that describes you best, and why? That could be more than one word, but it's something that just stands out. I know it does.
It is, I follow the rules. I play the game. And although I believe that there is more than one word, the first one that came to mind is resilient. Shidell is resilient because when I look back over my life and I look at the things that I've been through and what I've been able to overcome, some of them may have been easy and some not. The word that stands out to me is resilient. Been able to bounce back like a rubber band.
Wow, I like that. And since you said that word, um, you stated in your bio about the power of resilience,
Yes.
and there was a traumatic experience that you experienced when you was 18,
Yes.
and to be able to come back and until gather yourself and refocus. Can you tell our viewers how did that happen, and how were you able to just put all the pieces back and said, this is not going to define me. This is not going to get me. I'm going to move forward, and you will see. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
I can. It wasn't easy. I make it look easy, at least that's what people tell me. Because for people who know, they say, wow, you're always laughing, you're always smiling, you're always happy. How is that? And sometimes to me, I'll say laughter, they say laughter is the best medicine, right? It's a form of therapy for me. But when I look back over the situation, it wasn't easy at all. One, because it blew me away, the fact that it even happened, and the fact that it happened by people that I know. That made it, maybe 10 times worse. So I immediately withdrew from society, from my family, from the world. I just disconnected myself. And then it just took a little bit of time for me to come out of that shell because I did go into a cocoon. But then I remembered the things that my grandparents would instill in me, the strength to overcome, the strength to be able to face certain things that may have happened. Because as you mentioned, it happened to me, but it doesn't define me. So then we talk about the purpose. And Dr. Cheryl Wood, who I admire on so many levels, said that your story happened to you, but it's not for you. And once I began to realize that yes, that happened, and why I was able to overcome and be such a strong survivor, is because I'm here to be the voice of people who may not be as strong or who feel that they're going through it alone, because I was alone at that time. And when I did talk to certain people about it, I was more or less judged than I was comforted. I was criticized more than I was consoled. So the purpose of that happening to me and being able to overcome is for me to help other people who may not be strong enough to know that yes, it's traumatic, but you can get through this.
Now you mentioned that you kind of went into a conclusion. Okay, what was the strength where you just probably just shook it or woke up one day and said, I cannot stay here. I got a life that I got to live. I got purpose. There's so many things that I can take from these type of experiences and maybe be able to help someone else out by being resilient and by being able to come out and by being able to be strong. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think that because it took a little bit of time to get to that point, I think I had a short lived, oh, woe is me. And then I had to realize at what point am I going to just say no more? At what point am I going to stop waddling? And not that it discounts the situation or the circumstance at all, but I could have lost my mind. I could have gone crazy. I could have went into a deep depression. Now I did go into depression because again, it was a bad traumatic situation. And I do remember at the time I tried to come out of it the very first day that I left the house after months. When I went to the store and I turned the corner, I ran into one of my rapists. So it immediately kicked me back. They say take 2 steps forward or 2 steps backwards so you can go 10 steps forward. It literally took me back 10 steps because as I thought I was on that journey of recovery and healing to come out of that cocoon so that I can just live life again, get myself back acclimated, reacclimated to humanity, I was slapped in the face with, oh, no, you don't. But then again, thinking about the conversations and even the demeanor of my grandparents would not allow me to just stay stuck. So I had to just talk to myself and say, okay, Shadell, you're stronger than that. Okay, Shadell, this happened, but you have to go on. You have to move forward. And it wasn't an easy task, but you just have to make that decision. It's like people who smoke. and you know it's bad for your health. You're sick, but you're still picking up the cigarette. For those who go cold turkey, it's because they make the decision, I have to stop. You want to lose weight? You have to stop. You have to change. So when you build up enough strength to say, I have to do this no matter what, then you just, like Steve Harvey says, you just jump and you do it. So I had to do it.
Wow. You know, that's the power of strength.
Yes.
That's the power of digging deep inside oneself to get the energy to come out and turn. I would say you turn the sour lemons and the lemonade.
Oh, yeah.
and, and and we just start getting focused and stay focused from that point on. We're gonna take a station break, but I can't wait to get back and pick up this discussion a little bit more. So if you want to be part of this great conversation with this great young lady, go to the comments, whether it's LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, E360 TV, whatever mechanism you're watching this show on. Stream your permission to show your Facebook profile and answer any questions that you want to. Become part of the conversation. We're going to take a station break, but we'll be back with more of It's Your Life. And I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. See you shortly. Hello. Hey, I'm James Cooley. I am the founder and CEO of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, Options, Opportunities, Lasting Choice Program. Our primary mission is to help build a foundation of our youth and young adults and communities. And we encourage everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. You also have to be able to step out your comfort zone and do things that you probably didn't think that you can do.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. And I tell you, strength, inspiration comes from being able to share certain things in our life with others. Well, we gain strength, but because we're able to get rid of things that should not be lingering on us all the time, and we're able to push back and get rid of that and clear the pathway so we can bring in new, fresh, new thoughts, new ideas, new dreams. And, so being able to dig deep and pull that strength out, sometimes we're able to help others. And I believe that what Shadell is talking about, sharing that, first of all, that was tough to share. But I believe that you help somebody out who might have been in the corner and did not want to come out the dark zone. But we're going to continue to help folks out doing this the next 45 minutes with these conversations. So if you want to be part of this great discussion with us, again, just go to any one of the mechanisms that you're watching this on and just go to the comments, put in, ask a question, or you can just say hello to me and Shadell. I mean, we gonna say hello back. You know? Hey, Shadell, so how did you draw strength from your family to overcome your experiences? And also, I know your focus. I can tell. I can see the smile on your face and all that. To move on and start your own girl connection network empowerment and all these great things that you're doing. The international speaking
Thank
uh,
you.
tours and let's talk about some of those things.
Can I get comfortable? Let me get a little
I
comfortable.
want you to get comfortable, please. That's what this is all about.
You know, I think about my grandmother a lot. Now, my grandmother had on my mother's side, I believe maybe 17 children on my mother's side, and there were 12 on my father's side. So we're all about family and connection and people and embracing. So when you ask about the premise of Girlfriends Connected, I can tell you how I started, but I always reassess the basis of the organization because it connects women who would not have otherwise either met or connected on any other, premise or situation or even at different events and stuff. So it's primarily for inspiration, it's for encouragement, it's for empowerment, and then we aspire to inspire, if that makes sense. And with my grandmother, who purple was her favorite color, purple happens to be my favorite color, but purple also means royalty. So we're all royalty in our own right. And I honestly believe that I would do my grandmother a huge disservice if I did not carry on her legacy by connecting people on any level, whether it be if they need something, if they need to talk, if they need to have someone listen to them, or if they need someone to tell them something. It's so many different variables in that. And I believe that I have a spirit of helps. So if I see a need and I'm able to feel it, then I will. And it takes me back to a prayer that I had a long time ago. I said, God, use me. But you have to be real specific in your prayer because that's so vague. When you say, Lord, use me, it could be anything. And my experience with that is it pretty much was. So when I asked the Lord to use me, then people started coming to me for help, for help with not just financial things, but somebody or everybody needs a friend. And I believe that I was that friend, and I still am that friend to many. So I'm hoping that I'm answering that question in the manner that you're asking, as far as how and why I did what I did, because I feel that I'm not necessarily obligated to, but I have a responsibility to carry it on.
Well, well said, well put. And you know what? You hit it on the nose with a responsibility because sometimes I believe we we as people forget that we have a responsibility,
Yes.
to help bring love, kindness, and joy to others. I believe that we have a responsibility to do that, not just to oneself. And if you're not happy with yourself, you certainly ain't gonna make nobody else happy, or it's gonna be hard to bring joy to them. You know, Shadi, no, now the title of the show, and I love it, and I can't wait until you explain. I can't wait till you explain this. The title of the show is just as it. Can let's talk about this. I want to know because I can just feel it.
You can feel it. You can
I
feel
can
it.
feel it. I
You
can
can feel
feel
it. You can feel it. Just ask. Expect the unexpected. It's such a profound title because we'll go spiritually and we'll go non-spiritually. In the Bible, it says you have not because you ask not, right? And it also says life and death is in the power of the tongue. You have to be very careful about the things that you say in life. And oftentimes, you may not think that you're posing a request when you allow things to come out of your life. come out of your mouth. But most things that you allow to come out of your mouth, you're pretty much ordering off the menu of your life. So what I mean by just ask, expect the unexpected, I'll give you the positive and I'll give you the not so positive. Something as small as when I go to a fast food restaurant and say I'll get a meal. And this is simple, but it's the reality. Say I get a combo and it comes with a small drink or a small fries or what have you. And I say, can I have a large or can I have a medium? And sometimes they'll just say, okay, I'll just give it to you without charging me. So when I say just ask, expect the unexpected, you'll never know unless you ask. So just try it, even with something small. And when it happens, it'll probably blow you away. And that's leading through my entire life up until where I am now, which I'll use this as a testimony and say that I went from sleeping on a twin size air mattress to what some people say, oh, you're bragging. And I say, I'm not bragging. I'm blessed. To a 6-bedroom house where I said I wanted to buy a house where I didn't have to do anything. But what I meant was I didn't want to have to do any upgrades. I didn't want to have to do any repairs. I didn't want to have to do any work on the house, if you will. So when I said I want a house where I didn't want to do anything, and I'm saying just ask, expect the unexpected. Are you ready for this? Are you ready?
I am ready.
I moved into a practically fully furnished house. And I mean with appliances and electronics, furniture, and even, I'll call them accessories or add-ons, including the backyard patio furniture. I mean, literally everything I wanted in a house, I have it because I asked. Now, some will say, well, it may not be that simple. And others say, well, it may be that simple. It is that simple if you believe it. Has it always been that easy for me? No, it hasn't. But you have to believe that it can and it will happen for you. Because I used to have that mindset, oh, this person has this and this person has this car. They have this house. They have that job. They have this life. They're taking these vacations and they make it look so easy. And I used to be so intimidated by that until it happened to me. Because I literally believed, but I put in the work. Because again, if you want to go spiritual, faith without works is dead. And a lazy man can't eat because you got to go to work. So it didn't just fall out of the sky because I asked for it. But theoretically, because I asked, I believed, I put in the work, I manifested, and now I have it.
Wow. One of the things that I talk about in my speaking tours and my speaking engagement is, believe. I believe. I believe. The word is I believe, just like what you just said. If you believe in something, and if you truly believe in something, and you're willing to put the work in, I mean, first of all, you have to have direction on what you are asking for and what you're believing in. And that's what the foundation, that's like I said, you said you asked for this. I believe that you also knew that, okay, I might not have this at this particular time, but I want to have the biggest foundation possible because as I grow, I can always add on as long as the foundation is there to support it. And I have to believe in myself and I have to continue to do the work. I have to continue to grow. I have to continue to surround myself with folks that are smarter than me, that I can learn something from, and that I can teach them something as well. So I believe that's the only way you grow.
Yes.
And you just summed that up in a nutshell. And people, I think we all used to, I know I did as well, used to look at other folks and see that they had all this. And I wouldn't say it was a sense of jealousy or something like that, but you find yourself counting other people's money. Well, you should be counting your money. I mean, you sit back and hey, you can count somebody else's money all you want to. Well, that ain't gonna get put no money in your pocket.
It's not in your pocket, right?
So you have to figure out, how can I count my money? How can I get some money to count? How can I just get focused on the things that I want to be able to achieve? But first of all, I had to get myself right. I had to believe in me.
You do.
And so I'm not going to let you off that easy. I'm going to ask you to expound
But you
on
know
that a
what?
little bit more, because
Let
it
me add
was.
to, let me add to that, because you talked about counting other people's money, right?
Uh-huh.
And I talk about the power of the words that you say. How many times have you heard somebody say, God, I'm broke. I'm so broke. And I had to say, stop saying that. Because if you keep saying that you're broke, but then you're wondering why you don't have any money, and you count other people's money because you're comparing their bank account to your bank account because you keep saying I'm broke, you're speaking that into existence. You're speaking that brokenness over your life. So if you want to be broke, keep saying I'm broke. I don't say I'm broke. I probably said that a time or two in my life until I learned. And now I would say, I don't even say this anymore, but I used to say my money is in circulation. And in Los Angeles, there was an organization, and it may still be in existence, called Recycling Black Dollars. My money is being recycled somewhere, just hadn't made it to my bank account yet. But my money is out there, but I'm not claiming that I'm broke. So the power of what you say goes a long way. And you may think that you're saying it so innocently, but then when you look back at it and you see things happening, like, oh, wow, I did say that. Just ask. Expect the unexpected.
Well, we got to take a station break, but I want you to hold that thought, because when we get back, we're going to pick it up even more from that point. Just
Okay,
ask.
great.
Just
Just
ask.
ask.
So hold on. I tell you, I see that we got a lot of folks that's coming right now, and I'll continue to do that because I make sure that I get the message to Shadell. And I tell you also, real quickly, I want everybody to go to It's Your Life YouTube channel and subscribe. Subscribe so you can watch all the shows. You can get them all the time. And you help you helping us out as well. The It's Your Life YouTube channel. We're gonna take a station break, but we're gonna come back with this great woman. We're gonna pick it up again. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley.
Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices.
My program is built on the 4 C's, and the 4 C's are create. Create is the thoughts that we have. Each and every last one of us have these thoughts, these ideas, these dreams. We have these things every day. A lot of times when we get these thoughts, we don't want to do anything but lay down and go back to sleep or whatever that might be, and we wake up and the thoughts are gone. I believe that a high spirit always telling us something every single day. Every single day. So create the ideals that you get, that you think about, that you dream of. You say, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and I was tickled pink toward the end of that, the last segment, because it was so exciting. And just going back, sharing ideas. And we were talking about, you know, counting other people's money. And sometimes when we count everybody else's money, we ain't got nothing to count for ourselves, because we too busy in the other people's business and others what they got. When all you have to do, just like Shadell just said, all you do is ask. You believe, ask, believe, you will receive. Ask, believe, you will receive. If you put the work in, how much you got to put the work in, So we're gonna pick it up from there. And you said something about the power is in the tongue. If you say you can't do this, you say you cannot do that. Um, Most of the time, you're not going to be able to do it because that's what you're thinking. You said it. I can't do this. I can't do that. Shadi,
That's
why don't you pick
correct.
it up? Why don't you pick it up from there?
You know, and thank you for bringing it back to that, because when I say the power of what you speak, it actually goes both ways, positively and negatively. Because although I'm excited about all of my successes that I received by just asking, once I realized that all I needed to do was ask, believe, put in the work, and then of course I receive it. You open your hands to receive it. I asked my sister if I can share her story when we talk about the power of just asking. And sometimes I get a little apprehensive about saying things to be mindful of the audience. But you never know who's out there listening that needs to hear the things that you have to say. So although I just ask for most things in my life that have become very positive, and I'm very happy about it, there are some things that I have allowed to come out of my mouth. I won't say I asked, I've allowed to come out of my mouth that have not been so positive. And when I talk about my sister, there was a time that her and I were on vacation, and the marketing person asked of our relationships, whether we were married, single, divorced, separated, or what have you. My sister said, I'm married, want to be widowed. About a year and a half later, her husband died. Before he died, my sister said, I want another baby, and I want it to be a girl. My brother-in-law at the time he was alive said, Shadell, talk to your sister. It's just us. We could live our life. We could travel. If she wants to have another baby, talk to her. But she was very emphatic. I want another baby. I want another baby. So after he passed away, their only daughter found out she was pregnant. And when she had her child, it was a girl. So my niece at the time said, well, you said you wanted another baby. You wanted another baby and you wanted a girl. So here she go. Shortly after that, my niece was murdered at 24 by her daughter's father at the hand of domestic violence. My sister then realized and said to me, wow, I have to watch what I say because everything that I'm saying is happening. Now, did we think that her having another baby or another child and it being a girl will come at, the consequence of her losing her daughter? No. But this goes to the power of what you say. So use it as a sword, use it as a tool, because it really is. Now, if you speak positive things, it's not going to happen 100%, or it may. I shouldn't say it won't. It may happen 100% of the time. But also be mindful that the negative things that you allow to come out of your mouth could potentially happen as well. So with her permission, I share that because everything is not always, rainbows, unicorns, and butterflies. We will want life to be that way, but then that doesn't give us an opportunity for growth or doesn't give us an opportunity to recognize any area of improvement for us. So I share that we just continue to be mindful of how we live our lives. Oh no, I can't hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. I was in awe. I was in awe over how you explained that with your sister. Wow, that was so deep,
Yeah.
but it's so true. It's so true because a lot of times, and Michelle always remind me of this. I have to be careful what I say unto my what I ask for. I have to be careful that, and not just me, but everybody,
Right.
uh, or what comes out your mouth. Because again, if you say you can't, you can't. If you say that I want this and I want that, many times it's going to happen unexpectedly, and then whether it's good or bad, like you said, it calls one to sit back and think about certain things and be careful about what you ask for, especially if you're a believer. I believe, because if you're a believer, if you truly ask God for something, and if you work hard enough, and He's going to bless you. Oh, if you go the opposite way and you ask something on the other side, uh, that could happen too. So that was so powerful the way that you shared that. But I got a question because you wrote this, and so when do you know when to ask a question and when to decipher a question? I mean,
That's a tricky one because when we talk about allowing things to come out of your mouth, you think it first, right?
mhm,
Hopefully. So, in my growth and my maturity, because it hasn't always been this way, we would just allow things to come out of our mouths just because. But as you grow, you're more mindful of, should I say this? Should I speak this? Should I ask this? So you think about the situation first. And now, because there have been times in my car where I would just be driving and that little voice would say, don't turn left. But I'm thinking that's the shortcut. So I turn left anyway, and then I run into a traffic jam. So it's little things like that. And there's so many of those examples that started sinking into my spirit where I'm saying, oh, you know what? Maybe I need to think about something first before I just blurt it out. Maybe I need to think about what might have happened last time before I ask about this or I ask for that. So it's pretty much, it's a cost analysis basis thought process where if this, then that. If I do this, that can happen. If I say that, maybe this can happen. So it's being more mindful of the outcome before I decide, do I really want to ask that question? Or do I really want to ask for this? Do I really need it? Or am I being like a goldfish, just with my eyes, eating with my eyes? Does that make sense?
it makes sense. It does. I mean, because that's that intuition sometimes that we have,
Yes.
and a lot of time we want to take the easy way, uh, the easy path.
Yes.
And when that's sometimes because yourself know yourself, that might not make any sense. Yourself know
Yes.
yourself at a certain time. They can feel it and say, "Oh, no, you don't want to do that. Not today. You want to go this way." So oh yeah. Hey, so how do you encourage your children and others to know that they can have anything that they ask for, if they believe in it?
My children, I just have to say my children are all amazing. And I say that because of how they carry themselves in their adult life. How I've encouraged them for the most part was leading by example. And I say that because being in customer service, you're on the phone pretty much 90% of your day. But then when I take that into my home life and I deal with my own personal business, my children are listening to me on the phone, how I conduct myself. And when I saw them displaying the same behaviors, I said, okay, they're paying attention. But then I also verbalized to them how impactful, how empowering, and how inspiring I am to them, and encourage them that you can do whatever you want, whatever you desire to be, to have, think, say, do, or be with in life, as long as you believe that you can. Because that's just in me. And I support my children as much as I possibly can, because I remember an incident when I was young and I didn't get the support from my mother that I thought came with the package. But then, even rearing my children, the law says that you're supposed to clothe them, feed them, and give them shelter. All the other stuff is extra. I didn't get a lot of the extra, but I know how that made me feel. So when my children expressed to me what their desires were, as far as being children in a child parent household, wasn't always easy, but I let them know you can do this. Because if they don't get inspiration and empowerment from me, who are they going to get it from? It could be a good person. It could be a not so good person. So that training is supposed to start in the home. And I just had enough wherewithal, again, from my grandmother, to make sure I instilled that in my children also.
Wow. Hold that thought. We got to take another station break. We got to pay the bills.
You got to pay the bills.
Got to pay the bills. So I tell you, again, keep the comments coming. This is an extraordinary young lady that's really putting it down. She's putting it out there. I mean, we call that knowledge base. So I tell you, we're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back and we're going to continue this great conversation with this great lady. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. I'll see you shortly after the break.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phrases and stages. These experiences teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to It's Your Life with James Cooley. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get you equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
The third one, commitment. We all are committed to the In and Out project, otherwise we wouldn't be here today. I came all the way in from California just to make sure that I'm here. I'm committed. So commitment is when you say you're gonna do something, when you go to join this team or you're gonna volunteer, you're gonna do this. If you say you're going to do it, you got to commit to it. And we got to get our youth. We got to get our society. We got to get our community. We got to get our leaders. We got to get everybody to commit to making our communities better and giving others opportunities.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. And as I was saying prior to the break, I was saying she putting it down. I mean, she just, and where I'm from, growing up in the hood and this and that, but she's spitting. We have to be able to soak some of this knowledge in that Shadell is sharing with us, because it's so true. And everything comes from, I believe, within. And you can feel it when a person is really coming towards you and trying to help you out and tell you about their situations and things that made them who the person that they are today. And plus, you can always see it and you can feel it. I mean, whether that's a good person or a bad person, you know. So, Shadell.
Yes.
So, how do you handle the positive and the negative unexpected. Ah, you put that in.
Wow. I would say handling the positive, of course, we get excited. But using a lot of the things that I received positively just by asking, it blew me away. Like, wow, this really works. Some people are familiar with vision boards. And when I became familiar with doing a vision board, I did one. One example that I have is I put dinner in Beijing on my vision board. But one day I was driving down the street in Orange County and I drove by this restaurant called Beijing Walk and Grill. And I immediately at the red light just busted out laughing. And my daughter looked at me like I was crazy. But the reason why I laughed is because while on my vision board, I said dinner in Beijing. I didn't say Beijing, China. So I literally had dinner in Beijing, but it was in Beijing Walk and Grill. So how I handle the positive things that happen, sometimes it's by surprise and I'm elevated or I'm ecstatic about the fact that, wow, this actually came to fruition. And how I handle things that are negative, if I'm not discouraged, I'll just take a pause and I'll go back to the drawing board. And I say, okay, I have to try this again, or maybe I have to ask a different way, or maybe I have to apply things differently, because if it's something that I want to happen on a positive aspect, I just need to go back and try it again. I say, if at first you don't succeed, try again, right?
Absolutely. You have to. So tell me about Shadell Speaks.
Shadell Speaks. As you see, I speak. I talk a lot. But what happened, Chidell Speaks actually came to me. I didn't seek to be a speaker. But when I shared that story about being raped, it was in a TEDx-like setting in front of 500 people live, and it was streamed globally. But after I shared that story, people started messaging me how they could relate. And that was both men and women. Then I wound up speaking in Riverside at another event, and I shared the story. Then I was afforded the opportunity to go to Paris, France, not Paris, California, but Paris, France, and share that same story with women across the pond. So then at that point, it says, oh, Chidell is speaking. So then I was coined the name Chidell Speaks. And I'll add this because I was able to take pretty much my entire immediate family. 3 generations we went to Paris. 2 of my grandchildren, 1, 2, 3, 3 of my children with their significant others, my sister, my mother, my best friend, and another great friend. All supported me to go see me speak across the pond, excuse me. So Shadell Speaks is literally kind of, it found me. I didn't find it.
Wow. So when did you had power? I'm talking about that. I mean, something it hit us when we know that. I mean, so it had to be a time where you like, wow, I got this.
Yeah, it happened with just, like I said earlier, just with the small things. And then it said in my spirit that if I can speak into existence the small things, why can't I believe for the big things? One of them is this house, my car, and it hasn't even always been material. It's been my health. And a lot of people don't know, but they'll find out now that I was in a hospital in December for 2 weeks and I almost lost my life. Literally almost lost my life in December. So when I realized when my words had power, it's just saying some of the things that I would think could be just as innocent as, oh, that light's going to go out. And that light goes out. Like, oh, I said that. Oh man, I don't want to go down this street because I'm going to get a flat tire. And then you wind up going down this street. It's a construction site and you run over a nail. And what happens? Your tire goes flat. And I know that seems simple. It seems so, but it really is that simple. So when I realized just some of the things that I say, no matter how small or big it is, and I actually see it, because sometimes they say seeing is believing. That's when I know, oh, wow, I have to watch what I say because my words have a lot of power.
Words have power. It does. So you talk about this Etiquette Plus. So what exactly do you mean by that?
Etiquette Plus is a company that I founded when I was in Arizona, because a little bit of the background in that is when I grew up, this single mom of mine, as children, you always say your parents get on your nerves. It was sit up straight, stop biting on that fork, pick your feet up, stop dragging your feet, hold your head up. And she used to really get on my nerves. She used to get on my nerves. So when I moved to Arizona, and I grew up in a program in Los Angeles called Liaison Citizens, and it was really focused on the youth, the betterment of and empowerment and encouragement of youth. I didn't see that in Arizona. So one day I was sitting there and I said, wow, this child is really smacking on their food. And we would get popped in the mouth for that. And when I didn't see those type of programs out there, it literally pulled on my heartstrings. And I decided I want to teach children how to eat like I was taught how to eat. And one of them was chew with your mouth closed. So it literally came to me and it developed over time. And I was able to teach dining etiquette. Then it went into the high schools and I taught business etiquette, interviewing, and things of that nature. And that's how that business came to be.
Wow. We down to about the last 2 minutes of the show, and I got to get some takeaways. I mean, this been an extraordinary interview. What are 3 takeaways, real quickly, a minute or less, that you want our viewers and our listeners to get from this great conversation?
3 takeaways that I would give is, 1, definitely believe in yourself. Believe that you can overcome anything that you've gone through, because what is a speed bump for in a parking lot? To slow you down. But once you get over the hump, you can speed up again. Be mindful about what you allow to come out of your mouth. Think before you speak, because you'd be surprised. And be happy. Smile every day. Laugh if you can. That is the best medicine, and it's free.
You know, I tell you what, your attitude is so contagious. And that's what we want. We want people around us with contagious attitude from a good perspective. I mean, not contagious attitude. So I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And, and I'm telling you, I got to invite you back again, because just like I said, it's contagious.
Thank
So
you.
I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on the air. And we certainly going to have you back again. And I tell you, I want everybody to always dream big, think big, and be big. And remember, you can do anything that you set your mind to. What was that takeaway? I'm talking about you, Shadell.
You
The
can
name?
do, have,
Just
and be anything.
ask.
Just ask.
And
Just
and
ask.
inspect the unexpected. Thank you so much. We're always looking for sponsors so we can continue to bring great guests like what we have with Shadell. And I want everybody, just like I said, to tune in tomorrow. We'll be back. We got great guests. We're gonna have this young lady back again real soon. Remember, it's your life. Dream big, think big, and be big at everything that you do. See you tomorrow.
Thank you for having me.
Shadell, we still rolling. I mean, the show ended. I ain't ended the broadcast yet, so our listeners can still see and hear everything that we're talking about. And thank you so much for coming on the show. As you see, Talisha is saying,
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It was a great experience, and just being able to share with people, I think is so monumental because, and as you can tell, I'm assuming that there's so much more for me to share, and people think that they go through things by themselves, and they really don't. I've learned that we all have so many things in common. We just don't talk about it.
We just don't talk about it, and a lot of times that's why we fall into deep depression. That's why one of the things I talk about real quickly is I call it OSD:
Mm.
oppression, suppression,
Mhm.
depression.
Okay.
Oppression is all the things that are forcing against us, and if we don't have that protective shield, some of them are going to get in. I
Mhm.
mean, and all of them not good that gets on the inside of you. And then once they get it there, we suppress things, pretend like it's not there. And then anything that's suppressed will rise one day. And once
Yes.
it arises because you suppressed it, that forces us into depression. And when we depress, we go into the corner and hide. And then all different type of things goes on in our minds and our thought process. So we have to be very careful to just like what you said. You got to speak what you want.
Mhm.
You got to think what you want. I'm talking about good things, of course. So I guess I got about 30 seconds. Anything, quick thing that you want to say before I end this broadcast?
Don't take things in life for granted. Basically, if you're thinking that you're saying something that is just so small, don't take it for granted because it could happen unexpectedly. That's why I say just ask, but be mindful about what you ask for and how you ask for it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I
You're
tell you,
welcome. Yeah.
I see everybody tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Talk to you later.